Well, good evening, folks. Got another offering for you this evening. And because next Wednesday is St. Patrick's Day, thought I'd give you a little St. Patrick's Day drink a week early. That way you can get into it and enjoy it next Wednesday or leading up to the special day. Now, being Irish myself, I thought I'd open with an old Irish greeting like top of the morning. When I was doing research, that's not really an Irish greeting. And the Irish have a language all to their own, believe it or not. It's Irish Gaelic. Now, the proper greeting for in that language, simple hello, and I know I'm going to mess this up here, is Gia Gowich, which is God to you or God with you, big G. The reply will be Gia is Mer Gowich. Say it a lot faster, I'm sure it sounds cool. But anyways, that's God and Mary to you. Notice the theme there? Now, the way it's written in Gaelic and the way it's pronounced, you would never, totally opposite end of the spectrum. You would never get it, never guess it. As far as how to say cheers, we'll get that to a little later. But like I said, I'm a bit Irish. Back in my military days, before I had troops, and when I had black hair, black mustache, and when I was on leave, a black beard, you could pull out the red in my hair, especially in the mustache and in the beard, facial hair. Both my maternal grandmothers were Irish. One was a Keaney. And if you didn't know, a lot of the Irish that came over and immigrated had O's, O'Keaney, O'Shaughnessy. Once they got here, the O apostrophe was kind of dropped by immigration, so they were just Keeneys or Shaughnessy's or whatever. So, interesting little tidbit there. Now, as far as the drink, the Irish drink, everybody knows you talk Ireland, you think of Guinness and Irish whiskey. Now, I looked up the top 10 drinks in Ireland, and the majority of them have, those two are two of them, but everything else has somewhat of a combination of them, except for Bailey's Irish Cream. That's also a drink, which I believe I've covered here. I'm not sure. But anyways, I'm going to point to three of them and actually try one of them later. The first one is called Poitin or Crather. Now, this is commonly referred to as Irish moonshine. It is actually illegal in Ireland. It was, or is, secretly, distilled with potatoes. And it's so strong, history records that an individual they thought was dead, they would actually take some of this, put it under their nose. And it was so strong that if they popped up alive, they were alive. And if they didn't, they were buried. And he goes, it'd be sucked to be buried alive. Back then, they didn't really have the medical field wasn't exactly top notch like it is now. And that's where the term night watch came from. People would be buried, and night watch would be in the cemetery, and they would actually have ropes in the casket. So if you were buried alive, you would ring the bell, and those on night watch would, oh, hey, so-and-so's alive. Got to dig them up. Interesting little tidbit there. Okay, the second drink, getting off topic here, is called the Fat Frog. This is the one I'm going to try to do next week for you on St. Patrick's Day. Although I'm having difficulty finding the ingredients. If anybody knows of Bacardi Orange, let me know. Let me know where to look. I've been to 4 different package stores in the Columbus area. Phoenix City, nothing. So let's keep hopes up here. Now, as for this evening, been on a coffee kick here lately. And yes, we're doing Irish coffee. Now, it's a relatively recent drink. It's said to have originated in 1941 in the Foynes Airport Terminal in County Limerick, Ireland, where currently the highs are in the 40s with rain for the rest of the week, just in case you're planning to go there. Dress accordingly. A flying boat was actually headed back to the U.S. with Americans on it, forced back to Ireland due to weather. And the restaurant staff was told, hey, something warm for the passengers. So the head chef did up this coffee and put some good old Irish whiskey in there topped it with cream. And henceforth it was known as Irish coffee. All right, I'm going to get some stuff here. But interesting note that if you are from England and you're famous, like Richard Hammond, James May, or Jeremy Clarkson, you are considered English. And if you're from Wales, Scotland, Ireland, Scotland like Jackie Stewart, Ireland, Liam Neeson, Maureen O'Hara, ooh, she's a cutie, especially in her younger days. You are known as British. You are not known as Irish, Scottish, or Welsh. So I looked up Jackie Stewart too, and you look, and it says a British race car driver. But anyways, I digress. Let's go for these. And real quick, I've been doing these reviews for a while, and I was just told this past week that I talk too much. As the lady told me, talk too much, talk less, more drink. So let's see. And I'm going to try to have her on as a special guest in a couple weeks, so be sure to turn in for that one. That's going to be a hoot. Okay, Irish coffee. Got your glass, boom. First thing you're going to do is pour some hot water in there with a teaspoon. What this is going to do, it's going to preheat your glass for you. What the spoon does, and it says let it sit for about 5 seconds, but what the spoon does, it helps take some of that heat, the thermal energy, away from the glass into the spoon so the glass won't shatter. Okay? Now you let it sit for a few, get the glass nice and warm, like it is. It said 5 seconds, so we're good. Discard the water. All right. 1 teaspoon of brown sugar. Light or dark, it's up to you. I think I've got some light brown sugar here. Since this is predominantly an Irish show, I won't mention anybody who might have sung a song that was British, or English, excuse me. All right, good measure of Irish whiskey. Yeah, the Irish, they probably do half and half, but I'm just going to pour some in here. See, it's nighttime. Nice little nightcap. Oh, and am using is the Glenlivet from a previous review about alcohol in movies. Check it out. All right. I owe my wife a little more. And then coffee, strong and hot. Okay. I'm using 6 ounces. It's a K cup. That's the smallest. And that will give you the strongest flavor as opposed to 8 or 10 ounces. All right. Yeah, works out perfectly. Let's stir it up. Now it says to take cream and whip it lightly. Now actually I'm going to confess this is take 3. And pour it over the back of a spoon so it will set on top of the coffee. Didn't work. Okay, so I'm going to cheat. If you remember from last week, whip topping. So I'm just going to do it very lightly, kind of get it on top of the coffee. Now, and you're not going to stir this. The idea is to, when you drink it, the coffee and the whiskey and the brown sugar flavor will come through the cream, and that's where you're going to get the creaminess. And it will just accentuate the flavoring. Okay? So, we'll go for the aroma. Okay, the Irish cream is predominant. Excuse me, the Irish whiskey is predominant. And let's go for the taste. Oh, and as far as how to say cheers in Irish, if you're ever in Ireland, it's sláinte. Sláinte. In this case, I'm using a bold coffee. You get that boldness. And the Irish whiskey, really, this brown sugar just sweetens it a little bit. But I think that's all it is there for, is for sweetener. And then through the cream, the creaminess, you don't see any on my mustache, so you're all good. So this is very good after dinner drink. Or something that I would never, this would be a little too hard to bring the ingredients into work and drink at work, a little too fancy. I would never condone drinking at work. Never. So, but this is delightful, very much. You should try it. It's very good. Now, I'm going to sign off here, but just for you romantics out there, give you a little hint. If you have that special lady out there that you want to propose to and you want to do it on St. Patrick's Day, hey, what better day to do it? Okay? Um, Instead of doing something boring like getting on your knee, will you marry me and all that, no. Okay, now this is an old Irish proposal. So guys, write this down. You get that special lady wherever you're at, in a pub, and just simply ask her this. How would you like to be buried with my people? I mean, the most romantic, asking you the question, isn't it? So write that down, use it. Let me know how it turns out if you do. All right, folks. Now, I did a lot of talking, but I'll check you later. Wherever you are, stay warm. Unless you're in the Philippines, stay cold and enjoy.